Oh, my God. Trade back for Bobby Dahlbeck.
Green Monster. Homers.
Oh! Hello and welcome to the 11th ranked team by you, the people on our team profile and projections. One of the biggest climbers of this offseason, the Sox kid. Last year, they came in ranked 22nd. This year, they're ranked 11th. Could be low. The voting was before they added at least one more big guy to their offseason. The DirecTV Rewind segment. If you're ready to transform your baseball watching experience, head to directv.com/JohnBoy. Scan the QR code on the screen to learn more. These Sox last year, Trev, 7th in OPS, 9th in runs, 7th in starting pitching ERA, 3rd in WHIP. If you told us that before the season, what would we have told you about the Boston Red Sox? Their bullpen has some ugly numbers, but it also just never fully clicked on the field. An 81-81 regular season, better record on the road than at home, a losing record at Fenway Park. They really struggled against the good teams, 37-56 against teams 500 or better. Trevor, they got off to a hot start last year. They made some big moves this offseason, moves we've been asking for about 3 offseasons. Trev, who'd they add?
They added a ton, Pop, and you're right. We have been asking for this, and I think the front office was finally kind of able to go out there and get guys because of what some of the guys already on the roster had done. Some of the young guys came up, established themselves as part of their major league plans, and now we supplement. This is what we talk about all the time. And supplement they did, Pop. Alex Bregman comes in here on a 3-year 120, although he has the opt-out after this year. But you know Alex Bregman. He go look at his numbers in Fenway. They are insane. He's a pull hitter. We know about the monster. We think he's going to be playing second base. That could change throughout the year, but it's Alex freaking Bregman, man. So many teams wanted this guy. He ends up choosing Boston. And to me, I think that's great for Red Sox fans because this guy could have gone to other playoff teams and said, no, I'm going to come to Boston instead. They brought him in. Another Moxie King, Walker Buehler, signs for a 1-year, $21.05 million. They have a mutual option for 2026. He comes over, came back, looked really great, closed out the World Series against your Yanks.
Right.
Who else but WB?
Right.
Walker Buehler he comes over. I'm very excited to see how he looks this year. Patty Sandoval comes over on a 2-year, $18.25 million deal, comes over from the Angels. I think everyone's kind of liked him as a depth rotation piece, and at that price tag, how can you not like it? Aroldis Chapman comes in for the bullpen. 1 year, 10.75 was with the Pirates last year. Justin Wilson comes over from Cincinnati, 1 year, 2.25. And then the trades started happening. And oh my gosh, this was a big one. This was basically right after the World Series. Garrett Crochet comes over from the White Sox. We knew he was going to get traded. We didn't know who he was going to. Well, my guy Chris Getz over there liked the Red Sox package. He got acquired from the Red Sox for prospects Kyle Teal, Chase Madroth, Braden Montgomery, and Wickelman Gonzalez. Garrett Crochet is one of the nastiest pitchers in baseball. He's got a ton of control left. And I mean, it's not Chris Sale 2.0, but I can see how a lot of people are thinking that. He's awesome. My guy, Blake Sable, comes over from San Francisco. He's a catcher. Carlos Narvaez comes over from the Yankees. He's a catcher. Giovanni Moran comes over from my Twins. He's a reliever. And then they brought in some guys on minor league deals as well, Coach. Adam Ottavino, Matt Moore, Austin Adams, all to try to help out that bullpen. Sean Newcomb as well, Abraham Toro, Trace Thompson. They brought in a bunch of dudes. This has been a big offseason for the Red Sox.
Wow.
Did they lose anybody, Jake?
Trev, they did. They did, and some guys who had sneaky big boy seasons for them. Your guy, full pension, Nick Pivetta, signed with San Diego. Remember that old deal? 145 innings last year, a 4.14. You kind of you kind of know what you were getting from Pitt. Tyler O'Neill went nuts last year. 31 homers in 113 games. He's in Baltimore. Kenley Jansen. Although it was kind of funky year. He's with the Angels. Where's he going to finish the season? We'll find out. Danny Jansen behind the dish went to Tampa. Chris Martin has some wild stats last year. He's gone. Lucas Sims. Luis Garcia, Reese McGuire, James Paxton retired. Congrats on a great career, James Paxton. That video of the eagle landing on his arm. My God. Baseball isn't real.
Remember?
Baseball isn't real. So I still think the parts in are a lot better than the parts out. No offense to the parts out. Trev, the lineup. It's always kind of been there with the Red Sox, but man, it feels like it might have entered a different territory.
I think so, and that's my guy Breggy. They needed a right-handed bat in that lineup. A lot of lefties, and when you have something like the Green Monster, you want to take advantage of it. I actually think the Green Monster helps the lefties. It helps control their approach. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tristan Casas was like, "Hey, can I put the Monster in right field? That'd be nice."
Oh, double Monster.
Double Monster. Whoa. It's actually a very small wall out there in right field.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
It's you and me.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite players in the big leagues, and go check out this guy's statistics and what he can do on the field. Jarren Duran will be in left field. Point of contention, I guess, a little bit in the offseason, into spring training. Rafael Devers, he'll still be at third base. He said, "That's my position." Motherfucker. Basically what he said, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman, second base. Tristan Casas, first base. Yoshida is recovering from a shoulder tear this offseason. He'll play DH in spring training. He hasn't thrown yet, so we'll see what they do with the DH position. We'll put Yoshida there for now. Trevor Story, healthy, ready to go. He's playing shortstop. He's all beefed up in spring training, got a beard, looking really good. Him and Bregman are boys. Love that. Love of my shortstop and my second baseman are boys.
Story to Bregman.
I saw one play. It was on the backfield. It was a backhand. They were turning two. Story had to manipulate his body in the air because that's when you do it because his footwork wasn't there. Throws it, makes sure it gets Bregman behind the base. It was a thing of beauty, and I'm talking backfield spring training. Wait till they get reps, people. Another one of my favorite players on the Red Sox, Wilyer Abreu. He'll be in right field. Connor Wong behind the plate, and Ceddanne Rafaela in center field. They got guys that can go get it out there. I think their defense is going to be vastly improved. It could probably be even better by the end of the season if we do a little Christian Campbell, second base, Bregman, third base, but we'll get into that a little bit later. On the bench, we got Romy Gonzalez, David Hamilton, Carlos Narvaez, and lefty masher Rob Resnider. I forgot to mention they picked up his option for $2.1 million. He's doing his thing. And then there's a bunch of names to watch. Some of these prospects we'll probably talk about later in the show. Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer. Also, Vaughn Grissom's going to be on the bench, or at least fighting for a bench spot. We'll see how it shakes out in spring training. Blake Sable, where's he going to end up? Is he going to be the backup catcher? Most likely. That's what the lineup looks like. So there's a strong lineup, a starting lineup. I like the bench options, and you have like real prospects on the precipice of the big leagues. This is kind of everything that you want. Jake, tell me about the rotation in the bullpen.
At the top of the rotation will be Garrett Crochet. Impressive strikeout numbers. The breakout happened. You can even butter knife the stats because after the trade deadline stuff, it got a little weird that he was dominant, and it seemed like he reached into potential that everyone kind of thought he had coming out of Tennessee. Go Vols. Tanner Houck leveled up last year and became the nasty starting pitcher people thought he could be. Walker Buehler, you mentioned the last time I saw him pitch. Lucas Giolito, friend of everyone on this program, looking for the bounce back year in the Commonwealth. And then we'll see what goes on. Brian Bayo dealing with some injury stuff. Cutter Crawford dealing with some injury stuff. Sandoval is hoping to join them later on in the season. That you might see Dick Fitz has been impressing at camp, and just with that name. Quinn Priester, former first-round pick, I believe. Cooper Criswell's been twirling the pill for them. And then I think there's going to be a lot of this ep that probably is on the bullpen. Liam Hendricks and Aroldis Chapman on the back end. I mean, 2019, watch out. What do they have for the 2025 season? Oh, you didn't like that.
That's mean.
Garrett Whitlock. God, that guy, when he's on, he can be nasty. Justin Slayton kind of broke out last year. Greg Weissert, Justin Wilson, Brennan Bernardino. Josh Winkowski in long relief. And then, dude, there's this crop of olds that I hope Boston taps into just because, like, a good old bullpen. Ottavino, Matt Moore, Austin Adams. These are guys that you teed off on. And they've got some other bodies down there. Michael Fulmer. People forget. Detroit Tigers, remember? The Boston Red Sox, Coach Trev. They are back in the mix this year. We've been talking a lot. Do they have an argument to be the second best team in the AL? Because they might. And if they do, that means you could be the first best team in the American League because baseball happens. There's a ton of talent. I don't even know where do we start. Is it the young guys on the precipice, like you said? What is that laugh?
You're like, if you can be the second best team, you can also be the first best team. That's great.
Right? That's a little Jake Yogiism there. Is it new guys? Is it pitching? Is it Cora? Like, we could go a lot of ways with this team.
I think we have to start with the Devers Bregman situation because I think it's still, I guess it's resolved for now, but I'm interested to see how that plays out during the season because look, I understand. Devers grades out like not great. -6 outs above average in 2024, -8 in 2023. So it's not great. Yeah. But also his bat kind of makes up for it. And are you going to sacrifice, or is there a possibility that his bat, you sacrifice some of that if you move him to DH?
It's interesting.
Like, this is what he's comfortable doing.
Yeah.
He's come up with pretty strong words. And again, like, my thought process is like, hey, you already got paid, dude. So like, just do what you do well for the team. Like, you got your money as a third baseman. They wouldn't have paid you that if you were a DH. Like, you got that money because you could hit and play a premium position. Now, with all these defensive metrics, it's hard to hide over there. You know, if you don't play well, like, they're going to tell you that. I'm curious to see how that works out. You know, he's constantly trying to get better, which you have to, like, you know, give him credit to, for that. I believe he's worked with Cesar Asturias in the offseason, like tried to do, like he's trying. It just hasn't, you know, there's some things at third base.
Macier is tourist too. Are they related? I'll look into that. You keep rolling.
Okay. I didn't hear you right there. So I think that's going to be an interesting storyline because obviously you have a guy, and Alex Bregman, who's a Gold Glover over there, and you can create a pretty beautiful infield if you go a Christian Campbell, Trevor Story, Alex Bregman at third base. And a lot of the guys, you know, they're starting pitchers, like would benefit from a better infield defense.
It's interesting.
Right? So like that is going to be a storyline during the season. If we do see Devers, who now probably has more pressure than ever on him to be a good defender because the eyeballs are not just glaring from the local media. It's a national story that he said, no, third base is my position and isn't moving. So like it's going to, if he struggles, it's going to come up and we're going to have to figure it out. So now we're going to watch a couple. Does he make this play? That's not an easy play.
He made it.
He made it. See, there we go.
DJ running.
I like they were showing positive highlights here. Look, the guy can do it. It's about third base is just about consistency, man. Like you just want the ball hit. If a pitcher wants the ball hit to you, you know you're doing a good job. It's not about making crazy plays, in my opinion. But we're showing some good ones right here. Let's go.
There was a clear when Rafi was starting to happen, and Yankee fans, to be honest, were just getting nervous. Like, wait, this guy hits like this? It's like, okay, the defense, it might not be there. I forget which offseason it was, but Rafi came back, and he did improve, and it was like, damn, okay, that guy's good. For me, it always, and this goes, which we could do an off-season episode, although the off-season's running out, that, I've gone my DHing's not easy speech, that you're not in the rhythm of the game. You get 4 at-bats. It could be a bad time. I always thought Devers was going to move to first. Like, his glove wasn't bad that I was like, okay, if you're going to lock him up and make him your guy. And, hey, maybe that progression still happens at some point, but they've got Casas now, who this is a big season for him, although we thought, could he be a trade guy? Never happened. The Bregman Devers stuff is going to be very interesting. I do think their best current lineup, depending Yoshida's health and stuff, is Devers at third, Bregman at second. Assuming Bregman can play second well. Like, I know that's a much easier transition, but the Gold Glove third baseman moving to second, and him and Story, that you change the jersey for me. That puts a lot of lead in my pencil. Turning double plays. My God. That it's gonna be a fun storyline, and man, this whole team is gonna be fun to watch because Alex Cora, like, if you're looking for content, like, it's already happening. As we're recording this, there was kind of a silly Tristan Casas thing that felt just a little. It's probably silly. We didn't hear the audio of the quote.
It is silly.
But there's not a lot of managers that would even do this, right? Like, that's where Cora's different. Like, dude, talk about alphas. Like, go around this team. Cora is an alpha. Breggy is an alpha. The way Devers was answering those third base questions.
That's pretty alpha.
I mean, the way Duran handles himself. Did I say Walker Buehler? Like, that guy, the Moxie King himself, that Liam Hendricks in the pen. Watch out.
Hey, Giolito's even had a glow up.
Giolito, my God. 6'7", sneaking up on 6'8". Hello. That's
tatted up with a California bear. Let's go.
The Boston Beards are insane. Rob, I know I should have said this earlier. If you can find a recent picture of Crochet looks gross. And I say that in an awesome way. Like, you can use it pitching wise. You look at someone you don't want to see on the mound, you don't want to see at the bar. Like, Crochet looks big, scary, and mean. And that's kind of what this Boston team does. That the lineup and defense is going to figure itself out. Whether it's an injury, whether it's performance, like, they're going to find a defensive alignment that works for them. I think the big story is they address the pitching. Like, Garrett Crochet has a chance to be a Cy Young winner, and we haven't been able to say that with the Red Sox guy. Like, Tanner Houck took a step that if there's another step in there, he can be a Cy Young guy. Walker Buehler, I know it was a weird regular season coming off of injury, but the last time I saw him pitch, he was mowing down the Mets, he was mowing down the Yankees to win a World Series, and I think the city of Boston and, like, that guy is going to be fueled by getting a new contract and pitching well for that city, that they have now added the top end to their pitching with the depth, and I think a pitching coach and a team pitching wise that deserves a little credit. Like, they pitched a lot more than we thought last year.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about.
I don't want to see that on the mound.
Yeah, and he's throwing 100 at your face.
I don't want to see that anywhere.
It's difficult. He's like a little like Chris Sale used to be that guy. You weren't scared of him because he was just like so skinny,
right?
And Crochet's like a little beefier. Whatever. We're not. This is
Crochet's
not
got
body.
beef.
I'm not body shaming on this show.
No, not on this show.
Although we do a lot, I think. Yes. Okay. Here's my thought process on this whole freaking team, man. I think their ceiling is about as high as it gets, man. Like, I think that they can win the World Series. I really do. I've said that about a couple teams. I think I said that about the Cubs. But I really believe that this team could just absolutely take off. It's all there for them. I think it's health. I think it's health with this team. I want to see, like, what's Walker Buehler going to look like? What's Lucas Giolito going to look like? Is Trevor Story going to play a whole season? Like, the back end of their bullpen is they brought guys in. Right. And they're getting Hendricks back, but, like, is he going to be healthy? Like, Aroldis Chapman's 38, 39 years old. Like, what? There are some questions about health. That's the only thing that I'll talk about. And usually I stay away from that. I just try to predict full years out of everybody. But I think in this situation, it's okay to talk about it. I do think a guy like Brian Bay, who throws, a sinker, like, and Tanner Houck, like, they're going to, I believe, put up better numbers this year just because the infield defense should improve with Alex Bregman in the mix. put him at third base, put Campbell at second base. That's what I'm thinking is like overall, like you're just going to get better because you're putting better defenders out there. So I think this is what I think happens with the Devers situation, and we can kind of move on. I think early on in the season, Cora is going to give him some DH days, just be, hey, man, just get off your feet a little bit. And if he has some good days, he's going to start saying, hey, Nick, you can do this. Overall, his numbers, Jake, he's only DH. He only has 87 plate appearances as a DH. He has an 828 OPS compared to 4,100 plate appearances as a third baseman, where he has an 856. So it's like not crazy different, right? Like it's not like he's like hates DH because he can't do it.
Right.
I just think that, you said that's their best lineup. I don't agree with that because I think you're talking more just offensively. I'm talking about overall as a baseball club. I think their best lineup would probably be to put this guy Campbell at second base. Obviously, he has to prove that he can do it at the big league level. But from all reports, like he's like a guy. So I don't know, man. I do like this team. I think the top end of their pitching, I like Bayo. I like Hauk. Again, I think those guys can go deeper into games. Crochet is interesting to me. Like, how many innings is he going to give you? Like, it's his second year as a starter. Right. Are you going to let him? Are you going to unleash this guy? Is that what's going to happen? How many years does he have? 2?
That's what I have in my head. I can double check for you, but I believe so.
So, and I think the back end of the rotation, what are you going to get out of Buehler and Giolito coming back, basically from injuries? Giolito is what we saw a little bit of Walker Buehler. So there is some question marks there. But if things click, again, I think the ceiling is just off the charts for this team.
My buddy asked me this last night. I think he was a little high, but he said if there was a person from Antarctica that hadn't watched baseball or seen sports and they were asking like what baseball team to get into this year, I think it's the Red Sox, man. I think these storylines are so fun. Like, dude, okay, so let's do the veteran fun question marks. And I don't want Boston fans to take question marks as a bad way because I think every team has question marks because that's just how baseball works. But if you go up and down their lineup, like, dude, Masataka Yoshida had a solid offensive season last year. And he's got shoulder stuff. If he had a slow start, if he has more in the tank, that's like a 120 OPS plus guy that doesn't grow on trees. Trevor Story, what's the next step for him, man? The whole Bregman Devers dance that's going around the infield. Ceddanne Rafaela, we haven't mentioned a ton. He's an electric baseball player. So, like, if you start moving into the Red Sox young guys, who is Rafaela? The big 3 prospects that they're talking about, Anthony, Meyer, and Campbell, not Ravens running back.
Not Keaton Mitchell?
Keaton Mitchell.
You're never going to let me live that down. I was sick.
I like that you don't want to live that down. Man, where this season could end up at the end of the year for Boston can be so many different directions. They could have the best young core in baseball if a couple of these guys click. They could have some real veteran questions if those veterans don't click. They could be the best team in the American League. They could still be like third in this division. The AL East is tough, dude. The Yankees just went to the dance. Baltimore is supposed to be at the peak of their powers. That this Boston season should be every bit electric in every direction.
Did you watch the Netflix Boston thing?
I've not.
I think I started it and fell asleep. It wasn't a great year. I want to see it because it was an interesting year, I guess, for them last year. Not great.
I hope are they doing it this year? Because that's the one. I didn't know it was a full year behind. Me and Rob were talking about it because they do that with Full Swing and the Formula One too. But
it comes out April 8th.
Okay.
Oh, it's not even out yet?
No, it's not out
and
yet.
it's
I thought I
last
watched
year.
it.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
I don't know. I might have been a little high.
What did you watch?
Yeah, it comes out April 8th. The Clubhouse, it's called.
I thought I watched it. I just watched a trailer or something.
You might have just watched a trailer. Well, they had the 2. They had the other one come out about the 04 team as well. So it's
that's what I watched.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was awesome. What else do we got to get into, Coach? I mean, we talked about, the defensive alignment, how that's going to play out. We talked about some of the old guys coming back from injury. We talked about the young guys. I mean, the prospects you mentioned, they're not just like prospects. They're I mean, we have it up
They're
here.
big, they're real prospects.
They are. Roman Anthony's the number 2 overall prospect in baseball. Christian Campbell's the number 4 overall prospect in baseball. Marcelo Meyer is number 15, and he's a gentleman, as I know from my babysitter.
Right. Yeah, I mean they've got a little bit of like, we've been asking Boston's front office to go in, spend the money. You're the Boston Red Sox. For a long time on this show, we said give Heim some time. The time ran out, but it feels like the dividends are coming now. That, yeah, man, I think these Sox are going to be good. I think they're going to be fun. I think the only other storyline I'd like to mention, Jarren Duran was incredible last year. And I guess we said this with Bobby Witt and, some of the studs in this game. It's hard to be that good. Like, Jarren Duran could have a very good season and have 5 WAR. Like, he was almost 9 WAR last year. So, hey, maybe he is that guy. Maybe there's more in the tank. I didn't know this one, and Rob's bringing it up right now. Most outfield assists last year.
Dude, I think his floor is set because he gets a lot of value from his defense and his speed, and that is not going anywhere.
True.
Not yet.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. It's tough for any player to replicate a 9 WAR season, and I just think that should be mentioned. And if he does,
he was MVP 8 last year, dude.
I know. And in a lot of other years, he would have been MVP 2.
He was making barely over the league minimum last year. That's what I'm talking about. That's when you go as a team. When you got guys in the first or year of arbitration or league minimum doing what these guys have done. Because we talk about, here's a thought process for Red Sox fans. We're talking about these guys, these super prospects, the trio. They already got guys that have done it.
Right.
Like if they come up and they're Jarren Duran and Wilyer Abreu, like, you're stoked. They already got that.
Right.
It's almost an embarrassment of riches if those guys comes up and I mean, you don't expect them to put up an 8-7 season.
And never mind if you're a lefty starting pitcher. And there's Rob Refsnyder mashing it in your face.
Was Jarren Duran like a highly touted prospect?
I think he had some juice, not like crazy juice.
Yeah, that's a question for another day. I don't know, Pop. I'm excited about this team.
Yeah,
I have not looked at the over-under yet.
Well, the over-under brought to you by DraftKings. Go check out the line for these guys. Go check out the NBA season, which is, I'm going to say, I got caught on the hook last night. I watched some New York and LA. It's getting real in the NBA, and now's the time to tune in. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you use code Talkin. Monster Slams, dishing the rock, cleaning the glass. Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use code Talkin. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code Talkin only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Coach, the one thing we didn't get into, which is I'm like thinking about this line now. It's the back end of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the closer? I know that Hendricks is, it seems like, hey, come back and just be the guy, but he's missed 2 years, man. I'm rooting for this guy. Obviously, we came up together, little Aussie boy,
right,
with the Twins. Didn't really find his footing there. They had him as a starter. He left and became an absolute animal. I'm curious about that. Why didn't Kirby Yates come here?
Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing let's see what we've got. Maybe we get good Chapman. Maybe we get good Hendricks. Maybe
they brought in people. They have options.
They have options.
That is the one spot where I'm like, okay, we need some stability there. And I don't like Slayton and Whitlock are guys that throw strikes. So you like that, right? They don't walk guys. Chapman, you're not going to get that. Liam Hendricks coming off of 2 years of injuries. Like I want to see how that works it out. Anyways.
I think they'll be in the market. And, dude, for a good closer, we're talking about all this prospect capital they have. Like Ryan Helsley. Like, on the Red Sox prospect list, okay, here's prospect number 8 and 11, and that probably gets you Helsley. So I understand what you're saying, and it would be tough for them if that's what holds them back in the first half of the season, but it's the easiest thing to address.
Coach, the DraftKings over-under win total is 86.5. Mind you, they won 81 and 81 last year. Obviously improved, made some additions. Lost Pavetta, though.
Your guy.
I do like him.
Yeah.
I actually really like how cocky he was.
He's like a Canadian Walker Buehler.
I don't want some sissy on the mound. I want some guy that thinks he's good.
Is Sissy out? I feel like
No, I like Sissy.
Okay,
Sissy's
Sissy's
good.
in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Sissy's
good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting line because the thing that does need to be said is like, okay, what do you really think about the Orioles? What do you really think about the Yankees? Heck, Toronto and Tampa. So the division has a lot of upside. I think we're going with the same answer, but I can never get a read on you sometimes.
In 3, 2, 1.
It's over. They're back.
I think they're going to win the AL East. I've been on the Red Sox train. You know that. I said this is happening, people. Watch out. They made the moves. I know. They made the moves I wanted them to make. I've picked a lot of overs. I got to start thinking about picking some unders right here, but I truly believe in this one. I think 87 games is the floor for this team. I do. Like they'd have to have a rash of injuries because I think that they're in it now. And you mentioned the prospect capital. If there was some injuries, I think they'd go supplement it,
right?
Via the trade market. So I'm over here.
As we look at the depth on some of these other high level teams this year, like, okay, they're almost. I'm not saying wanting injuries, but okay, like let's see what Campbell's got. Or all right, Bregman goes back to third. Like they're good. It's gonna be fun. Please
don't let this turn into a Yankees. I mean, I'm not trying to take a slight at the Yankees, but don't let this turn into a Yankees situation that happened for them last year with Clay Holmes and Luke Weaver. Like, make the smart decision right away with your closer role. That's all I'm asking.
Wow, don't know if I needed that. Boston fans, the Commonwealth. Oh, love that city in the summer.
I do love that
Grab
city.
A nice beer.
Newberry Avenue, or is it Boulevard or the street?
78 degrees, sun. Girls looking at me like they hate me. I went to Boston a lot. It's the least appealing city I can go to. Like the grease in my hair, the height thing kicks in big time. Boston girls hated me.
Are there tall people in Boston?
No, but they just expect it tall. They want Lucas Giolito. They want Crochet. They want Crochet over me. They want Crochet over me.
Crochet is like, Boston's like the Union.
God. Hey, let us know what we missed. Are we too high on them? Are we too low on them? I don't know. Let us know what we missed. We will be back starting the top 10. The Red Sox and Brewers aren't in the top 10. I don't know. We'll be back.